Well, here I am again at my little table, in front of this miserable cafe. Well, if you want to go in, put your money in the box. Yes, this box right here. This one. Yes. But before you go in, I must have a word with you. I was born in Tehran, a fine city. And I know what an opium den looks like. The imbecile woman speaking tonight. She may speak of strange essences, but don't be deceived. In any case, I can't stop you, so go in if you must.
Good evening, and welcome to the Psychedelic Cafe. My name is Kara. I'm the owner of this channel. I'm going to answer the question of why did I start this channel. There's plenty of psychedelic channels out there, and so here's what I have to say. We are in a psychedelic renaissance, and hopefully it can last. And to a great degree, or to some degree, we're living in the wake of Terence McKenna. Terence McKenna, the bard of the psychedelic, shaped how people think about all of this. And sadly, Terence died, I guess, at the age of 53. And no one human being in one lifetime can cover it all. And I think there's areas that he didn't get to talk about. And so I want to talk about the things that Terence didn't talk about. And specifically, I'm going to talk about psychedelics and healing and trauma. I think for a lot of people, they're attracted to psychedelics by all the good stuff. The encounters with God, or the encounters with extravagant hallucination, or cosmic information, and all that. And all that stuff is there. Psychic entities and all of the cool things that Terence talked about. I have experienced some of it, and I think, yeah, they're out there. The rub comes in that a lot of people are traumatized. And I mean traumatized in a suppressed way. They carry suppressed trauma. And the flip side of all this is that if you go into psychedelics thinking you can just march off and have a great time, visit with Jesus, and it's all cool, it may not work that way. And if you have suppressed trauma, and I believe it's 40% of the population, I believe it's a cultural artifact. So if you have suppressed trauma, sooner or later, you're going to express it, and it's going to come up through a psychedelic experience. And so I want to get into the nuts and bolts of this stuff, what it's like. And I've worked through a lot of trauma, and I mean nasty stuff, from a violent and alcoholic family and down into birth trauma. And what it's really like to work and get that stuff up and conscious. It's not fun, but I think that it's a necessary aspect of this. And so I will talk about the good stuff too, but it's going to be through a lens of, you got to pay some coins to get to those places. Or maybe you'll get there once and it's all nice and shiny and easy, but then the next time you fall down into something horrifying and you won't understand it. And so I'm here to throw in my 2 cents to, add to the understanding of what all this is. So I'm going to briefly talk about a few of my sources. And the top of the list here is Stanislav Grof. He's written several books about LSD psychotherapy. This is a book called The Realms of the Human Unconscious. I think anybody who wants to go deep into psychedelics and actually do deep healing work needs to read this. Stan Grof did sequential LSD sessions with people. We're not talking about 2 MDMA sessions in a therapist's office, and went through people's structures very, very deeply. There's almost nothing you could run into that's not at least outlined in this book. So that's a bedrock piece of business. The next source that I'm going to refer to and talk about, because I think for me, it's been a real critical piece, is the work of Carlos Castaneda. And let's let the discussion about whether Carlos did or did not do what he did, I don't care. I have found a lot of the information to be supremely useful, especially when it gets dicey on a journey and you're wondering, well, what's going to happen next. That's come in very, very handy. A third source that I find works with all this is the Course in Miracles. And I always felt that if I produced an edition of the Course in Miracles, there'd be a page of blotter in the back with chapter numbers on each blotter. And you tear out, after you read the chapter, you tear out the blotter and do some LSD and then really get the message of the chapter. I think that'd be my edition of the book. And I may even throw some things in from Frank Herbert, who wrote the Dune science fiction stories, the 6 novels. That he's a philosopher of human affairs and has a lot to say about it. By the way, he was from the Northwest here, and he's reported to have eaten the local mushrooms. So that's the nutshell here. I hope to be able to add something to the discussion and maybe help people to go through some of the difficult parts of this that the promoters don't often talk about. And so that's it. Subscribe and welcome back. And you will be notified of when the next steaming hot cup of psychedelic coffee comes out from the Psychedelic Cafe. Thank you.